computer connected so I can see the responses. I'm waiting for Mark coming in.
He'll come. I hope. Maybe.
Oh, he's got to. He's got the DAC piece. I think we're live, baby. All right, let's get it on. Live. All right. So, live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. This show is hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Rocho. Victor Rocho, I can't even pronounce my own name. Brought to you by the Sportscast. Today's March 11, 2021. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Sportscast in all your channels, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes. And if you're on iTunes, please leave a rating and a review. It'll help us out tremendously. And if you can, go to sportscast.net or follow us on Twitter at the sportscast.1. Or Sportscast1. And then we also have an iOS app, so you can download it. And we're streaming live on Facebook and we're streaming live on YouTube. So we're getting ready to get started. All righty. So Byron, as we always start, it's been a chilly South Florida. It's been an enjoyable couple days. I know you guys haven't had any snow. I love all the Giant stuff you have on today. Man, you actually match. You have the same hat with the same shirt on today.
Coordinate.
You gotta open up the sides. Coordinate. Most of our listeners don't remember that. That's from Boomerang, right?
Oh.
That guy was funny. It was awesome.
Everything years ago.
Coordinate.
You can't do the other stuff.
Yeah. So everybody listening to, if you get a chance to watch Eddie Murphy and Boomerang, and Halle Berry is in there, and Robin Givens, but I'm not a fan of Robin Givens because she did a Mike Tyson. But I love Halle Berry. Okay, so it's a great movie. You get a chance to watch, and then once you watch Boomerang, you're gonna learn how to what?
Coordinate.
The inside, they do that now. Have you seen the suits like on draft day? They had the inside of suits now have. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I wonder what they're charging them kids for them suits. 2, 3,
whatever the deal is. I don't know, but the point being is, from us watching that movie at a young age to wearing suits that only had inside material to have actually inside material with information on it.
Pretty cool.
It goes back to Boomerang, right? So that comedian should get some royalties on that. All right. So we got a lot to talk about. We got some pretty interesting stuff going on today. So let's get a shout out. Well, hopefully that our special guest host, Mark, you want to try pronouncing his next name? Harilic. Harilic.
Nope, not even close.
Oh man, how do I get a call when I'm on the middle phone? All right, so hopefully he calls in because he's a big Dallas fan, and so we're gonna see what he's got to say about what's happening in today's environment. So let me just get to my.
You didn't ask me about my weather. What about my weather?
Well, because you told me to stop asking you about it, so I was trying to.
Man, it was 80 degrees today. I put some spandex pants on with a spandex shirt.
There's no way there's a pair of spandex that can fit you. There's no way. Would you get them in the XL? What do you call it? The DXL store?
Yes. I put these spandex on, and I went out here and I jogged around the block, ashy legs and everything.
All right, listen to me. For our listeners, okay, those that you see this man sitting down, he's a large man. He's 6'6", 290 pounds. I'm gonna leave him at that so he doesn't have to ask and say anything different. But can you imagine a guy in spandex? When we grew up, if you wore spandex at any size, they'd make fun of you.
I was big sexy, man. Big sexy today, man. Running around my block.
You gotta send me a thing. I can't imagine there's that much spandex to fit on you.
Oh, it was tight. I was tight. It was tight, and I was tight today.
Hey, you want to know what's funny about spandex? Well, one, you should tell our listeners that it's true, right? At least what we hear, right? You're better off telling this because of your experience. But my understanding is like football players, when it was cold, they would actually wear like pantyhose because pantyhose would protect, like it wouldn't help. It would help with the cold. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. So now spandex, I got a good story for you, spandex, back in Jersey. All right. So back when spandex came out, when you're working out with the spandex shorts, remember? They were black and you were all back, I was all in shape, and me and my boys would go down and we'd go to Belmar. And remember, I live in Florida, South Florida. The beaches are beautiful and they're free. Are the beaches free in Jersey?
No. Well, it depends on which one. Not all of them are.
Like, you got to pay to get on the beach, right?
Well, a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah, okay, but a lot of them. Okay?
No, well, Cape May and you don't have to pay that.
That's not Jersey. That's like
South.
border. That's border like Maryland.
Well, it's closer to Delaware.
Okay, well, anyway, bottom line is you had to pay. So we would go get a season pass for Belmar, and it was worth it because we'd go. So for whatever stupid reason, we're all in shape. We want to go down, and I'm wearing blacks, like, those shorts, spandex shorts, in Jersey summer heat.
Oh, it was hot.
Oh man, if I could tell you that those things turned into raisins, it was hot as hell.
Yeah, it was a little hot. Little hot.
I would never do that ever in my life again. Ever. Wow. Okay, so what? 80 degrees. I can't. You got to send me a picture. I can't. I'm still. That's coordinating. Right? That's like either taking the curtains or taking something, because there's no way there's enough spandex to cover the size you are. That's a lot of stretching. That's a lot of spandex.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying you're a big guy.
Okay, all right.
You're a big man. You're 6'6", 290. That's a big man.
All right, okay, all right.
And you want to wrap that in spandex?
I put it on, and I
think about it. It starts this big. It's got to stretch out this big. If you put on my spandex, you'd rip right through it.
It's well, probably, but
and it would be up to your knees.
Probably. I ran out my door, went out my front door, made a left turn, and went down the street, ran past the school like that, and came all the way around the corner. Probably scared everybody. They
were either scared because of your size, or they were scared because of like, what's wrong with this guy in spandex that big? And were they only black, or were they had colors on?
Not just black.
Just black spandex. What was your top?
Black, everything. Black.
Everything black.
I wanted to be like the Raiders. So I went the Raiders.
Holy smokes! So you got holy smokes. So let me get this straight. You're in Philly. You're a Giant fan, and I got a 6'6", 290-pound African American man, black man, wearing all black spandex, jogging.
That's right. Ran past it.
My God.
Got an elementary school at the end of the block here, so I scared all the kids.
There's no doubt. There's Monsters Inc.
Maybe that's why the cop was sitting on the corner when I came back around. Because it was a cop when I came back. It was sitting over there. I was like,
you probably scared him.
I was a female. I was a female cop.
Oh, you probably even worse. You scared her, or you excited her. Well, you were in spandex. You either excited her.
Yeah,
scared her. In spandex, it shows everything.
Yeah, I know. I'm about peace and love, man. Peace and love.
I know you are. It doesn't matter that your piece ain't showing in spandex.
I know. I'm good. That was all good. Everything was good.
I'm just saying. All righty. So let's get back into the sports that we were in the spandex piece. All right. So that's interesting. So 80 degrees for real?
80 degrees.
And we're in March.
Tomorrow
that's pretty hot for March.
Yeah, tomorrow to be 50. It'll go back to normal tomorrow.
Because I remember you guys would get snow in March.
Shh.
I'm just saying in general. You
Put
get
the snow blow away.
you get you get snow, March. So I was like, damn, 80 degrees is pretty. That's what stinks, though. That's the reason why I don't like going up during these times, because like the malls or stores, they don't want to turn on the air conditioning.
It's hot.
Right. So you're going into a store that they're expecting cold. And so they don't have no AC and you're inside and it's hot. And my blood is thin and I love air conditioning. So there's only a certain point in time I could travel back up north, because if not, I can't handle being inside one of those places where there's no AC and it's 80 degrees outside. So again, we told you about the sports app. All right, so let's get it on. So we told about the weather, 80 degrees. Actually, that was hotter than here.
Okay.
It wasn't 80 today. It was actually pretty nice. All right, so let's get it on. Let's talk about the Giants. All right, we started on that conversation before we went live. And I want to get Facebook up because I don't want our listeners to not respond, and I don't respond to them. But so tell me, Leonard Williams, we were talking about that, though. You liked him. Now you changed your mind. You wanted somebody else. You liked him. Why is it changing?
It's not that I don't like him, because I do.
I know you like him, but I mean,
they can't afford to sign everybody. So they're going to have to make choices. They're either going to have to keep Dalvin Tomlinson, the guy that they drafted, they groomed.
I like him too.
That's been the leader since he's been there. He was NFL. They're nominated for NFL Man of the Year last year. He's a team captain. Mm-hmm. Then you had this guy that they got from the Jets, which is no big deal. They gave up a couple picks for him to get Leonard Williams. But now they have to pay him $19 million a year on the tag that he just got, or get a long term. And this guy that they got from the Jets.
I'm sorry, my Facebook came on. So, so who do you think they should have franchised tag?
They should have got his contract done before now, because this is the second year in a row that they've had to tag Leonard Williams. So I don't know what Gettleman is doing, because last year was $16 million, this year is $19 million. So I don't know what he's doing as far as not getting contract, but they don't have that much under space. That's why they cut Mayo, one of the linebacker. They cut Tate last week. They cut Zeitler, their best lineman, yesterday. So they're trying to find money, and they still have Solder to deal with. He's a big cap thing, but are they going to get rid of him now, or are they going to wait till June when it's less of a hit then? So they have a lot of things going on as far as with their cap space.
Well, I like Leonard Williams. I mean, at the end of the day, I do like him, right? And he's a veteran. He's got a senior, he's got some leadership qualities on him, right? But you're saying that this is his second franchise tag?
Second.
Okay. So that's good, because that's going to lead us into our conversation later with Dak, because I didn't know that about the second franchise tag. Right. So we're going to get into that. Hopefully Mark is on the phone by that time, because then we could talk about it. But so, all right. So we got him. We got Saquon coming back. I like Leonard Williams. What else do we need to tie up on our defense? Because it's about our defense, right? And then we need some offensive weapons. We got Saquon coming back. Hopefully in the draft, we're going to pick a receiver, right? So we're going to go into the mock draft right now. I'm going to pull up your stuff that you showed, right? And you got a little bit deeper into that. But you see how it keeps changing. Mac Jones keeps going up and down.
And it's going to change again when, what happened with Zeitler as far as with the Giants. I might be changing it again as far as the way they're going to pick.
Who do you think the Giants are going to pick?
They need an offensive weapon. I'm thinking, like Jalen Waddle, if he falls down there, or, even Smith, Devonta Smith, or even Kyle Pitts, the tight end from Florida, or maybe the edge rusher from Miami, one of those guys. But by them getting rid of their best lineman, it looks, I might next week shift over to where they take a lineman, the kid from Northwestern, which is Rashawn Slater, because they had him on TV the other day. He put up some big numbers. Like he did a 500-pound front squat. And then he ran a 4.85 40 at 300 pounds.
Oh my God!
So
he's almost as fast as you were.
Almost.
You ran under 4.8.
Yes, I did. Almost. That's
Almost the same size.
almost the same size.
All right.
But yeah,
Make sure we're clear, because Benny was giving you some crap about that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm pulling your mock draft now. Yeah, because I'm glad that Byron's done a lot of work on and like his picks on the mock draft. He's gone 32. He wanted to get deep into it. All I cared about is where my 11th pick was.
Yep. Yeah.
All I cared about. What is my 11th pick, and can I get Patrick Surtain at that 11th pick?
No,
because every time he gets, I don't think so, only because he's such a great defensive player. But he was like number 10. He dropped to 10 to Dallas because they're picking all these quarterbacks, number 1. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that. Oh man, come on. So, but the quarterback situation of what I'm seeing, predicated on the draft, it's getting crazy between what they're paying and then all the quarterbacks coming in. I see that the league is now going to go back to the quarterback problem they had 10 years ago.
Quarterback league, quarterback-driven league.
It is true, but 10 years ago, it wasn't a quarterback league. But 10 years ago, they stayed away from drafting quarterbacks early. So they didn't have to bust on Ryan Leaf and all those guys. What's his name from Texas A&M? Manzella.
The kid from Oklahoma. That was
all of them. What about Utah was producing Heisman Trophy winners? Andre.
You have to remember this. They didn't have the salary cap like the rookie cap that they have now. As far as each slot, their each slot is a certain amount. Like for one, back then, I can't think of the kid's name that played at Oklahoma. Sam.
He was the tailback though. No,
Sam, the quarterback from Oklahoma. He was the number 1 pick for the Rams a while back, and he was the reason why I can't think of his name now. I guess that's how bad he was. But he was one of the reasons why they stopped.
He was a bad pick. He was great at Oklahoma.
Yeah, he was one of the ones that got all that upfront money. That's when they were giving them, the first pick, we're going to give him $56 million or $70 million or whatever it was. And because of him, that's when they changed the whole thing. Where now with the union where they're slotted, first round pick gets this, second round gets this, third, fourth, fifth, and now it's all slotted. But back then, they can give them all that money like that upfront money.
So if you see me looking, I'm looking at another computer. So those of you who see me looking at me, I'm listening to Byron. I'm trying to pull up his picks and got different computers going on. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm not. I'm paying attention at the same time. I'm trying to get.
I just got to say, his name is Sam Bradford. My niece just told me.
I was going to say that, but then he still played.
Yeah, but
he played at the Rams.
But he was one of the ones that got that ton of money when he came out. The first year when he came, he got a ton of money. And then after that, they were like, you know what? We're giving all these rookies all this money when you got these guys that have put in a time 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and they're not getting paid. He's walking in the door getting paid. That's when they changed it, when he came out.
Right. So now it's limited on their rookie deals, right?
It's all slotted. First round gets this, second, third, fourth, and all the way down with each pick.
Right. And how long is so in other words, when's the rookie contract up? Which to me is smart, right?
It's 4 years, and the 5th year is the option, so it's 5 years technically.
The 5th year, so you get your minimum.
You get 4
years.
Yeah, you get 4 years, and if they pick, if you don't stink, then they'll pick up your 5th year option. It's the truth.
Yeah.
That's all the way to put it.
Can you be a little bit more direct if you don't stink?
Yeah, you stink. This bios can be. Bye-bye.
That's pretty funny. If you don't stink, okay, you're number 1 pick, but
whatever, man.
Stink. I just thought that was funny. Just my opinion, but look at Ryan Leaf, right? I mean, he was a bust. Look at Bosworth, right? I mean, that was welcome to Lee, Bo Jackson, right?
Yeah, but even back then, because he was a supplemental pick, so he didn't get the crazy money that Bosworth.
He got
He wasn't in the
picked in
regular.
the beginning. He got it in the
No,
first
no,
round.
he was in the supplemental draft because he graduated because his class had not graduated yet. So he was a later on a supplemental pick
So
after.
that's when they didn't allow you to draft if you didn't get past a certain amount of years in college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they can draft you. Who changed that? Dupree, didn't he? Marcus
Well, Dupree and then
or Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker was the first one.
well, he tried it, but you see what happened with him. He
No, but
went
Herschel Walker was the first one that was able
tried.
to. What do you mean tried? He went to the Jet. Oh, he didn't
He
go
went
to
to
the
USFL.
Yeah, he went to USFL. But he was the first undergrad that got drafted, that went to the NFL, which is they started changing.
Well, look at the running back from Ohio State a few years ago. He tried it.
What's his name? Barquette.
Uh,
He was awesome too.
and look what happened to him. He tried to leave early, and the NFL put their foot down.
They hurt him, man.
And
He got hurt.
He played him, and the next he was done.
That was a bad direction from advisors. I remember his name. Shoot, I can't. It'll come to me. They hurt him. They hurt him bad.
He hurt himself. He should have stayed in school.
Yeah, but he's 18, 19 years old. Come on, Byron, man. That's got to be, you need some direction there.
Yeah, that's called listen to your mother, listen to your father. You're there to get education. And
he may only had a mom, right? So you don't know if he had a father, and his mom may, Clarice, I think it was Clarice.
Yep, Maurice Claret.
Maurice Claret.
Yep.
All right. I told you to come to me. Yeah, that hurt, man. That kid was awesome.
Yeah. And then his
awesome, and he tried coming back a couple times.
With Denver, they picked him up as a third round pick with no signing bonus. Either you make it or you don't. He didn't make it. I think he went to jail too for a minute. I think he got in trouble for something.
No, he didn't. The other kid did. The guy who played for the Dolphins, he was a beast. I don't know if maybe Colrett went to jail later, but he didn't go. There was the one for the Dolphins that went. This guy was just like a massive. They showed him hitting a locker that like he dented the whole. Like the guy was just made out of metal. So what else is happening over there with the Giants? So we got the pick of Leonard Williams. All right, so let's go into your mock draft. I pulled it up, right? So I got here. You got 11. So you think we're gonna get Devontae Smith?
Yes,
I would love that. Okay, let's go. We got Trevor Lawrence. What I got here is got Trevor Lawrence at number 1. That's easy, right? You got the Jets taking hold on, I'm trying to get into Facebook to make sure. Why can't I reload this damn thing? Okay, I'm gonna get on my phone and do it. So you got
from the Jets, which is no big deal. They gave up a couple picks for him to get Leonard Williams, but now they have to.
Hold on. I can't get into Facebook. So sorry, guests, if I don't see your comments here. So you think Zach Wilson's gonna go that high?
Yes.
And what are you gonna do with Darnold?
Trade him. Somebody's going to take him for a lower pick. They're not going to get a 1. They might get a 3 or a 4, but they're going to trade him for something.
Do you think they're going to trade? So in your draft, you're of the opinion that they're going to pick this guy and then trade?
Yes, or trade him during the draft.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Darnold. I think he's going to do good somewhere else.
Probably. I'm going to throw that out there. He's going to end up with Washington Redskins.
Yeah, because they got rid of Alex Smith, which was interesting.
They did him dirty. That wasn't right.
They did.
They did him dirty. That's the only way you can put it. That's the only way I just put it out there. He was comeback player of the year. The guy almost lost his leg. I understand it's a business. But then you're going to turn around and you're going to do him like that, not even going to give him another opportunity to win the job. And then, all right, well, you know what? Well, thanks, but no thanks. You went 5-1. Goodbye. And basically, that's what they did to him.
Yeah, they did him bad. All right, I'm on trying to get on Facebook. My other computer's out. So let me go back to your piece. So Zach from BYU usually produces pretty good quarterbacks, but man, I don't know. I'd hate to go to the Jets. Why do you have what's QB, WR, CB, Edge, FS? That's what you see that you need.
Needs, yeah.
Those are their needs, right?
Yep.
So Jaguars need obviously QB, offensive tackle, defense. Oh man, they need a lot of offensive help based on your mock draft. Dolphins, wide receiver, yeah, a tight end. Why'd you put quarterback?
They need a backup just in case.
For Gili?
Yep, just in case, because they don't have Fitzpatrick now, so they're going to need somebody.
Where did Fitzpatrick go? Did he retire, or did someone
he just probably going somewhere else? He's a free agent.
Man, that's the life. A Harvard grad making that kind of money and just traveling through the league, enjoying football. You got the Falcons from North Dakota State.
Yeah,
a quarterback. I haven't even heard of him. How did he get up to number 4?
Because that's the guy that they played one game this year, and they just put him in there. He could run. And somebody today on TV tried to compare him to Lamar Jackson.
Nah, that's kind of. I hate when they do that.
That's what the guy said. The same thing. He's like, really? He said, Lamar is this guy is this. He only played one game this year. They only have one, North Dakota State. So we'll see how he makes out.
But I hate when they do that. I hate when they compare like an unproven person, one, and then when they compare someone who hasn't had sustainability, right? Someone who's played long enough. Right? You could be great for 1 year, but if you compare them Jordan, you compare them to Emmitt Smith, you compare them. You understand what I mean? I hate that because it's not what you did in 1 year; it's what you did from your longevity. Can you do it consistent? Is that fair?
Yep.
Right. I mean, it drives me nuts. The second they want to compare the next Jordan, and then now the next LeBron, right? And I'm still, as much as I'm not as a LeBron fan, and I will go back to that later. It's just, for me, you're going to debate the Jordan piece because of the Last Dance, which makes it different. But to see this guy at his age to play, and he's up for an MVP award. Oh man, there's a point where you gotta say, look, it's like Cal Ripken never won a World Series, right? I don't believe he won a World Series. He won one. Okay, but he was, he played so many games, right? That's what made him so great. And he was the tallest or biggest shortstop at the time.
Yeah, he was pretty. He's not a little guy.
No, he's huge. Shortstops are usually little guys that can cover a lot of ground.
Not anymore.
No, yeah, they broke the mold. He was one, but they went to that still, and then you started getting Jeters. Alex Rodriguez isn't a little guy.
Nomar.
Yeah, I mean, they were big. These are big shortstops. Cal Ripken was ahead of his time, but he never stopped playing. And you got to give it, back to my Giants. You got to give Eli credit. Eli played a lot of games, man.
Yeah, well, they didn't have nobody replace him. That's right.
Did he have nobody play? He didn't get hurt.
Well, that probably helped too.
Okay, so how could you not give a guy credit that can take that many snaps in a league where you got a bunch of guys like you coming after you?
He knew when to get rid of the ball. He'd hurry and get rid of the ball.
I don't care.
Get rid of the ball.
Okay, so he got lucky. He got rid of the ball. The other guys would get just slammed.
And he had a very good offensive line.
Okay, you give no love for my boy Eli. All right, let's get back to your what you got here. All right, so Dolphins. I'm quarterback. So you're saying they need a quarterback from a backup. I do believe they need a receiver, tight end. I'm good with. Their defense is good, so quarterback. It's always good to pick up a quarterback. You got this North Dakota State quarterback that's still blowing me away. I don't even know what it's Trey Lance.
He's one of the top 5 coming out.
I understand, but he's ahead of Mac Jones
for now. But it's subject to change. It's going to change again next week.
I mean, who does North Dakota State play? What conference are they?
That's where Carson Wentz came from there.
Okay, and how'd that work out?
He's not a bad quarterback, man.
I mean, he's not a bad quarterback, but it's not like he's been a great quarterback either, right? I mean,
Well, he has circumstances. He needs a change of scenery.
well,
He's
he's
selling
good.
his house down here in Woodstown for $1.7 million over here, right? Right over the bridge.
You didn't buy it
With what?
with your retirement money and all
No,
the
I
funds you
don't.
got.
If I cross the bridge in New Jersey, I have to pay tax on my pension. If I stay right here where I am, I'm good. I'm staying right here in Pennsylvania.
All right, so you got the Bengals, and they got offensive tackle. All right, the Bengals. I don't really care about the Bengals. I'm gonna skip them. All right, but I like what's his name? Our buddy, the quarterback. What's for Louisiana? Right, he's at the Bengals, or he's at the he's the
Oh,
Bengals. Right?
Burrows?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
right.
like him.
He needs
So
help.
he needs offensive line, and he needs a lot. They need more than what you put down. You put more positions for the top four than you did for Bengals. The Bengals, like you should just put etc. The Eagles, Kyle Pitts from that's from Florida, right?
Yep.
Tight end, wide receiver, yes, true. Eagles. You think they need a backup quarterback?
Yes.
That's gonna hurt our Alabama boys.
Yeah, but they might get because the owner said we're going to give him a chance to succeed. So guess what? If the owner came out and said, well, hey, we're going to give this guy a chance, you got to go ahead and surround him with weapons. And, all they're going to do is find some quarterback, that's, off the street, some backup guy, and be done with it.
All right. Well, we'll see, right? Because then you got that kid from Washington, right? That came off the grocery line, and now he's got a contract.
2-year contract.
Yeah, look, man. God bless him. Right. That's the way to stay. That's the way to stay prepared. All right. So then we got the Eagles got Kyle Pitt. Okay. Lions, Penn State linebacker, cornerback. They need it. It's just line, and they got what's his name, Jared Goff, right?
Right.
So we'll see there. The Lions is. I don't know. What do you think about the Lions? It's just what's their problem, man? It's just like Stafford's a great quarterback. I thought they were going to be phenomenal when they got Stafford. They had Megatron, and I think they got a running back. So they had all three major positions all at the same time, and they did okay. But
they still had the same owner.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Because I like Stafford. Remember, I like Georgia. I'm a Georgia fan. And then they had Megatron from Georgia Tech, and then they had a killer running back. I mean, look at Barry Sanders retired, and he really didn't want to retire. He just didn't like what was going on. Sorry?
He said, I can't take this anymore. I quit.
Well, he didn't quit. He just couldn't take it anymore. It's not worth him playing. Why get beat up? I don't look at Barry Sanders as a quitter from my perspective. I don't like that word. For me, I just look at it as like, why am I going to keep doing the things that I'm doing to get my body penalized? And when the ownership is not doing what they need to do, because Barry Sanders is one of the greatest running backs I've ever seen.
Well, it wasn't like he was doing it for free. He was getting paid doing it. And he just walked away from the contract. I quit. I retired. I'm sorry. Retired.
Well, why should he take, why are you going to take that punishment? Listen to me. One as a lineman, you get hit on every play.
Right.
Okay? Right? You get hit 1-on-1 on every play. Maybe 1-on-2 on every play.
Yep.
A running back gets hit 4 or 5 different players on every play.
Run faster.
Oh my God. You would think, I would think you'd have more empathy as an ex-player in the NFL than I do.
Nope.
Right? Because, it's easy for someone to sit on the sidelines and say, I would have done this and that. And I don't know. Me being someone who's, played the game, not at that level, but know what it takes and knows the game. The running back like Ricky Williams. I mean, there's a point where, running backs get it. They either are getting hit or they're hitting on every single play. Yep. No different than linemen. That's why the average NFL tenures, 3.5 years. A lot of it's due to linemen, right? Defensive and offensive linemen, right? And even running backs to some degree. But that's a tough position. So I don't know. I give Megatron and Barry Sanders and those guys that were able to walk away from the game at an early age. I give him credit. They made enough money. He got paid. Yeah. So as long as he does good with his money afterwards. But I just think something's wrong with Detroit.
What else we got here?
They're just I don't get it. All right, so now we're on the Broncos. Man, you got my boy Surtain going on the Broncos. So now the Cowboys don't get him. I'd rather him go to the Cowboys. I mean, to the Broncos than the Cowboys.
You skipped the Panthers. Justin Fields.
Oh, Justin Fields. Oh, yeah, that's right. I skipped the banker. Justin Fields, quarterback. They need an offensive tackle quarterback. Justin Fields, they're up and down with him. That's funny. They're criticizing him, then they're not criticizing him. And again, Mac Jones is not in the arena. I don't understand. This kid, he's smart. He's won a national championship. He's got his master's degree in 2.5 years. I mean, I think he's going to be able to pick up a playbook. How are these guys jumping ahead of him? So I like Justin Fields, but I mean, how many successful quarterbacks came out of Ohio State recently?
Recent? None.
Dwayne Haskins?
The jury's still out.
That's my point. Right?
So
it's my point. the Ohio State creates crazy defensive linemen. I mean, to go from the Bosas to the next crew, that they're becoming like defensive line university. You know how like Penn State used to be linebacker university long in the day. Miami was quarterback university. Ohio State's producing some incredible defensive linemen.
They got, Big Daddy Dan Wilkerson back in the day. He was the #1 pick from Ohio State. So they've had their share coming through here.
Yeah. Well, quarterbacks or linemen?
Linemen.
Yeah, but look at the Bosas, and you got what's his name? The Miles.
Orlando Pace. Pace.
No, but I'm talking about defensive linemen, the defensive side of the game.
Yeah.
Every year they have a defensive lineman that's coming out #1.
At least
for like the last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And when they come out #1, they produce. So it's one thing that they're delivering #1 picks, right? Out of Ohio State. They're delivering #1 picks that are producing. What's the guy from the Redskins? He's from Ohio. Who's the rookie that you like? Miles
Young, Chase Young.
Chase Young.
Yeah.
He's from Ohio State.
Yep.
Okay, he came after Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, and then him. That's a lot of great defensive linemen.
Back to back to back to back.
Yeah, and there's another one coming up. Right? So whatever they're doing on the defensive side, they're doing a killer job. I just haven't seen good quarterbacks coming out of there. And I don't know if that Justin Fields is better than Mac Jones.
It's the offense they run.
What's that?
It's that offense they run.
Whatever it is, but great defense. You could tell defense win championships. So the Panthers just need a lot of stuff. I'm not really sold on the Panthers anymore. They got rid of my boy Ron Rivera. Patrick Surtain. So Patrick Surtain, the Cowboys are losing that opportunity to get him. So he jumped up because he was number 10 before. Who did he jump up? Who went down?
Farley. They just swapped. Farley was ahead of him, and then just swapped him. Because Farley didn't play this year. He was one of the COVID, opt out this year.
Oh, okay.
Not that much film, and then like some of the things I've been reading about this guy, he doesn't like to tackle.
So you think that the Cowboys? I mean, I could see them taking Patrick Surtain.
Yes,
right?
He's going to tackle. You want a corner that's going to tackle somebody.
Right, but I just think that you think that based on when we get into the Dak conversation, that they're going to go on the defensive side. They're not going to say, okay, I just paid you $75 million just to sign. I'm not going to give you an offensive receiver.
When I was looking at as far as like the whole way the salary thing for whole team is, they got a whole lot of money invested on the offense. The defense
Oh,
is like bare, like it's like 120 million over here and like 60 million for the defense.
oh, hold on. Somebody's trying to get in. Oh, oh, this is my dad or my. This is my stepmom, my dad. Are you guys trying to get in? Hello. Hi. Is that Nuna?
Connected to audio.
You got to put your audio on. Where's my dad? That's my stepmom.
Nice.
We can see you.
We can see
We
you.
need to hear you. And this looks like Santa. Nuna? I don't think I remember seeing her in glasses. Can you hear me? Can you not hear me? We can see you, so I gotta like maybe take that off because you may not want us to. Okay, you stop video. You gotta get some sound on, so then we'll be then we're good, Nuna. All right, so Cowboys. So I don't know. You like this kid Farley from Virginia Tech? Is he that good?
He's good, but he's just not a tackler. He likes to cover. He's like Deion Sanders. I'm not saying he's at that level, but he's one of those guys who'll cover.
He's the guy that
You got to worry about if he's going to come up and tackle somebody.
Yeah. Hey, but if you can shut down one side of the field, you're in good shape.
Yeah, but you also want the guy to tackle somebody.
Yeah, you do, but you know, you can shut down the best receiver. That's all Deion cared about. You shut down the entire side.
Yeah, until you got that big 220-pound running back coming on. What are you going to do? Get out the way?
Well, it didn't matter. Deion, if you wouldn't throw, in other words, he just eliminated one option in your offense. I mean, you can't deny, regardless of how I love Deion Sanders. I'm a defensive back, so to be able to be that good to cover anyone, and you shut down that whole side of the field, and if you even dare to throw it his way, and don't get me wrong, Deion's been beat, but you're taking the chance that if he gets the ball, he can run it back. I mean, the guy ran 4.2, 4.3 speed.
Then if you have that big 225-pound running back coming on a tall sweep.
Yeah, but then that's a lineman and linebackers.
Then all these people.
First of all, as a defensive back, if the running back is getting to me, right? If the running back is getting to me that deep, you guys aren't doing your job. Now I got to do my job and tackle them. Don't get me wrong. I'm the last resort besides the zebras, right? But at the end of the day, if I'm getting tackling running backs.
So if they're running a tall sweep and they're coming to your side to the short
the linebacker that can't pick him up?
No, they block. Isn't that the outside guy's job to come up to force it back inside? Isn't that?
Yes, but that's not tackling. There's a big difference between forcing it inside and tackling.
Yeah, you know how many defensive backs I saw go to force? You know what they do? They dive down on the ground. It's so obvious that it's disgusting.
Whatever they do, as long as you force them back to your brothers on the inside, that's your job. Your job is forget it. You're a defensive lineman. Do you want that guy running on the outside, or you want to make him the run inside? You're a defensive end. Are you trying to let him get on the outside, or you want him to run back inside? Are you forcing him inside?
Yes.
Okay, great. Same thing a defensive back does.
No, it's different.
It's different because you're supposed to tackle him.
I'm fighting for.
You're supposed to get the quarterback. You're supposed to limit the seconds the quarterback throws so we can get the ball in the air.
I'm fighting for all it's worth to get to the outside, to cut it back inside, and you got the little 160-pound defensive back comes running up and dives on the ground and to force it back in.
But yeah, exactly. But because you didn't. If I have to dive to get him back in, which I was a tackler, but if you have to dive, or Deion Sanders had to dive to get him back in, he did his job because you didn't.
But anyway, going back to the draft. Moving along.
Hey, man, look, we were all both defensive players, so I'm going to say, wait a second, time out. Force him inside.
Moving along.
That's all right. Okay, so now who we got here? We got okay, the Giants. Oh
Done.
man, you really think he's gonna fall that low? I'll take Devonta Smith.
Well, it's going
I'll
to
take
change.
him or Sertain. I'll take Devonta Smith.
I
I
don't
just think
think
that guy, he's like a Victor Cruz to me. He's got something to prove. And he's better than Victor Cruz, played at a higher level, but Victor Cruz delivered, right? And he's Puerto Rican, so I give him some shout out.
But just remember, spoiler alert, because of what the Giants did today, yesterday, as far as getting rid of the guard, it might change where they might have to go a different direction and then draft a receiver later in the second round. It's a possibility. I'm just saying, you'll see next week. Things are subject to change.
So in other words, you're saying they may have to pick up a lineman.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't like the ones that are like free agents now, that are the ones that are on the scrap heap, with all the other ones.
I would go for the goal. I would take the Heisman Trophy winner. That's sad. The Heisman Trophy winner is number 10.
Well, 11.
11. That's I mean, something's happening that's wrong.
That's because he's kind of, if he was bigger, if he was like 6'1", like 190 pounds or 200 pounds, he probably would be in the top 3. He probably might even be, he wouldn't beat out Lawrence, but he'd definitely be 2.
Yeah.
He's just not that big. And when you look at him, it's like that. He's really not, I don't think he's 175 pounds at all.
As a Giant fan, I take him.
Oh, of course I'd take him.
As a Giant fan, I take him. I don't care about the offensive line right now, because if Saquon comes back and stays healthy, right, you're gonna have a problem. We got Gallman. Hopefully he comes back. We got another running back there. And we need a receiver. We need a receiver. We need a tight end that can catch the ball.
That would help
on a regular basis.
It all starts up front. If they don't have the guys that block, they're gonna.
That's true, but someone will rise at that position. I just think that you don't. For me, I don't want to pass up on talent, and I think as a Heisman Trophy winner, that kid's got something to prove, man.
If
he wasn't even supposed to do what he did, and my Alabama friends are probably like loving what we're talking about, but I like that kid.
If he's the highest ranked guy on your board when it goes to pick, you got to take him, regardless, whatever your needs are.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. So then we're on the same page. I'm just saying he's too talented that if he's on the board when it's your time to pick, you need to take that kid.
Yes.
Because it's not like you're the Jets or the Bengals or you got a shot. And then in the lousy conference that we have, you need talented players. You can't teach talent.
Nope.
It's the bottom line. You either got it, you could improve it, but you can't teach talent. That kid is loaded with talent. And you start adding Ingram, putting some stickum on his hands, right? And you got Saquon, who I believe is going to have a banner year. It's going to give hopefully Danny Jones some more confidence, and as long as he doesn't trip and fall when he runs, we're in good shape.
Yep.
All right. So let's see what else we got. These are pretty good. I like what you got so far. So, all right. So this is what I cared about. It was about 11. So look, I cared about in your top 11, right? These are who I wanted. If I had the chance out of the 11, and then we'll keep going. Okay. Kyle Pitts, right? Surtain, Devonta Smith. I see anything else you got?
Parsons, the linebacker.
What number?
He's 7.
Oh yeah, Penn State delivers great linebackers. That's another. Remember we were just talking about linebacker U or defensive end U or quarterback U. Penn State at one time was linebacker U. Right? They were producing linebackers. That's the linebackers. Right? I'll take a linebacker. I'm not familiar with him too much. Tell me a little bit about this guy.
He opted out this year, and he was a 4 or 5 star when he came out, from high school, and he's supposed to be tremendous. He could either play inside linebacker or he can play outside, and he can blitz. So, with Patrick Graham, their coordinator, our coordinator, could do a lot of things with a guy like this.
And with Leonard Williams, franchised.
Angry.
All right, so we got the 49ers, right? He's from Miami, University of Miami?
Yeah, he opted out too. He didn't play this year.
All right, well, if he's from University of Miami, the big U, I'll go for him. I like him.
Oh, geez.
I'm a big U fan. All right, you got the Chargers, and I don't care about Saints. Trade with Vikings and select Mac Jones, a QB. Interesting. So they got, who do they have? They have that big guy, right? Who?
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill. You got Drew coming back.
Maybe.
Right?
He hasn't decided yet.
Wait a second. I thought he decided he was coming back.
I haven't heard anything. They still haven't said anything.
He did say it, unless he changed.
They had Jameis too as a free agent.
He said he was coming. I heard on the report was he was coming back. So I was surprised. Unless they changed again. That's the whole point about our show. We have to keep up to date because I can't send our producers what's happening because it changes before our show happens. So you got him, you got Tyler Hill, right? And then
they had Jameis.
And they got Jameson that they had big hopes on Jameson. Huh?
He's a free agent too.
Yeah. I'm not sure but they were high on Jameson. They put Jameson over Tyson Hill.
Yeah.
Interesting.
See how that worked out.
Well, no, it hasn't worked out yet. They were just grooming him. They felt that he would fit into McVay's office.
If they were to groom him, they should. He wouldn't be a free agent right now. If they wanted to keep him, they would have signed him. Unless they don't have any money. Well, they're one of the ones that don't have.
Can't you be a free agent? Like if you could say, "I want to stay as a free agent before you sign me," or you'd rather just sign? I'm confused.
He could have signed before the season, but they're one of the ones that don't have any cap space. Theirs is one of the worst ones as far as cap space in the league. But that's probably why they didn't sign that guy.
That's good for my Tampa Bay Bucks. Even though I'm a Giant fan, but I want Brady to win another one, unless the Giants win. The only time I root against them.
Here.
All right, so you got the Saints. I can't. I don't think the Saints are going to take Mac Jones.
They need a quarterback.
I think Drew Brees is coming back. I like Tyson Hill. He's a big boy. They got Jameson. I mean, they need other things outside of that. They also need refs to make good calls.
But anyway.
Because they got screwed. All right. Washington. Washington scares me. They're dangerous. I like Ben Rivera. That defense of line is crazy.
They need a good quarterback.
They screwed Alex Smith. They ruined Dwayne Haskins. So you think they're going to trade and they're going to take Jason Waddle, wide receiver. Okay.
Alabama.
Right. Alabama's producing a lot of guys. Well, who's going to be their quarterback?
Just depends. They could probably get some free agent guy. They have the Henneke, the kid that's there. They could get Winston. They could get Sam Darnold. Who knows?
I like Henneke. Well, I don't like Henneke, but he played pretty well for a guy who came off the grocery line.
I can see them getting Sam Darnold.
That would be good for them and not good for us.
And right. If they get Sam Darnold, guess what? They go right to the top in the Eastern Division because of their defense. The coach.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Their record wasn't that good last year, and they did pretty well based on defense only.
The defense is
yeah.
They're going to win that division.
All right. So I don't want to keep going down. We'll save some of this for a little bit later. When's the draft coming up?
April 27th, something like that.
All right. So we got time. I want to get into a couple of other things because we're already, this time flew. We just went on 10. We're on pick number 15.
That's you, man.
What do you mean that's me?
You want to analyze it.
Well, because they're picks. What do you okay, time out. We'll analyze that. How long does the draft take?
What do you mean?
3-4 hours?
Oh, it's longer than that.
Okay, exactly. So I took in 15 less than 30 minutes. No, there was a lot more analyzing going on there.
Oh, here, just one more. The kid right here, number 16, J.C. Horn. Remember Joe Horn, the wide receiver from the Saints?
Yes.
That's his son.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
amazing, man. When you got offspring that's that still that good, because you don't know who you marry. It's not like, you know what I mean? The genes doesn't just go one side. I just love that. Jason Horn, South Carolina, he's a cornerback.
Yep.
Well, oh my God. Why do you think they need an edge rusher? They just signed JJ Watt.
Because they need one. You always need more because you don't know what Chandler Jones, he's always hurt. They're losing Hassan Reddick, the guy that was all world against the Giants that day when he had like 15 sacks against
The offensive line.
He's an edge rusher, so he's a market too. So you always need extra. You always need guys that can rush the pass.
I don't think they were spending on another edge rusher after he's signing JJ Watt.
Yeah, but JJ's 32 years old and he's hurt.
Don't matter. He's a stud.
You always need more.
He's a stud. He's a stand-up guy. He's gonna come prepared. He's got something to prove. Other than, hey, what's up with the ice? Let me ask you a question. Those ice baths, that shit's got to be hard as heck.
What, to get in them?
To get in them.
They suck, man. They're awful. They're bad.
Eventually, you get accustomed, like once you're in, but get in it, that's got to be crazy.
When you get in that, and I've done it back in the day, and it's absolutely brutal. Trying getting in that thing, because you sit there, you put your feet in, and then you got the trainer yelling at you, just get in there, stop being a baby. And then you just plop yourself down in here. Next thing you know, better stuff. I just like it lights you up like a Christmas tree.
Okay, so when you get out, that's when you can fit into your spandex.
Really? We go back to my spandex.
Because then you won't be showing it so much.
Moving along.
All right, so we're going to continue on this piece here. So Washington, we ended up. I still don't think they're going to pick an edge rusher. Maybe a defensive back. I doubt they'd take another lineman. I can't imagine signing JJ Watt and picking another lineman. That's just my opinion.
I'm just saying they're losing one. You lose one, you got to replace them with somebody. I'm not saying it's going to be a first round pick, but a second, third, fourth, or fifth round pick because there's plenty of them.
Yeah, but you got about 15.
What, the 16? No, that's just a need. That's all.
No. Oh, yeah, that's a cornerback you got there.
Yeah, that's just a need. That's all it is.
All right, let's get into. All right, so I want to keep going, so it doesn't matter what time we have here. Sportscast, okay. So, all right, let's get into the Mark's not around us. If he's coming around, let's get Dak. Okay, so I even posted this on Facebook, right? Okay, so who won in this negotiation? Did Dak win? Jerry Jones won.
Dak won. Dak won because people don't sit there and think about it. The first 4 years of his contract, he made $900,000, like 1.2, 1 or 2.1 or something like that. He overperformed on a contract. You have to admit that he did it. They didn't go to Super Bowl. They didn't do certain things, but he performed.
He was worth more. Okay, I will say that he was worth way more than the numbers you just gave.
Yes.
Let's just put it that way, right? Regardless of where the victories or where he went, the numbers you just gave me, he was way more worth than those type of numbers.
Yep.
Keep going.
And he felt that he should have got paid. And guess what? He got paid. All he's doing is, like, you figure he's getting 40 million, his averaging 40 million a year. He's getting the same he's in the same category, not the same kind of quarterback, but the same category as Carson Wentz got paid.
He's getting $75 million.
I'm talking about the average over the contract.
Whatever, I don't care. He's getting $75 million with his signature.
And what's wrong with that?
That's awesome. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. I'm just saying to you, when you do it, but the way they structured it, they freed up. They still allowed them the cap space.
Yes, $22 million. They still have
$75 million. God bless him. Let me tell you something. I'm not a Cowboy fan. You know I don't like the Cowboys. I dislike the Cowboys. I like Dak. Now, remember last year, one of my biggest things about Dak that I said that I was so impressed with all this social injustice stuff that's going on, and I believe we need to continue working on that. Okay. But Dak gave, as an African American, as a black guy, his donation was $1 million to the police department to enhance training for those type of situations. To
Yep.
me, that was great money spent.
Because he knew he was getting ready to get paid by the Cowboys.
No, this
That's
was
why
wrong. You can't. Why you gotta diminish the guy, man? That's not true. Wait, okay. Let me finish my. You're terrible, terrible.
Yeah,
I can't. You can't win. You can't win. So and I hate the Cowboys, but I had nothing but respect for Dak when he did that, because everybody else can throw stones, everybody else can say this, and yes, there's has got to be correction in social injustice. And think about it. So many people of color are in jail for cannabis, right? Okay. And good, whether you like it or not, now it's recreational, but there's so many minorities that are in jail for nonviolent crimes that are legal today. Okay. So let's add that. Now you got these injustice of men, getting shot that shouldn't get shot. Okay. But he took his money instead of he said, look, train these guys. He put his money where his mouth is. Number one. That's why I liked him. And I said that last year on a podcast. Number two, what I liked him is he stayed quiet during all this time. He was just a stand. I mean, I hate Dallas. So we're clear. Mark,
okay.
Where are you at? But there's a difference between hating a team and respecting a player. Huge difference for me. Okay. And I just loved how he handled himself. I loved how he just stayed quiet. I love how he didn't complain. I love how he didn't feel like he wasn't getting his piece. And he just played it out. And I am nothing but ecstatic that he's got the largest signing bonus in history, if I'm mistaken.
You're absolutely right.
Signed $75 million to sign your name. You told me the last couple of times on our podcast, man, I'll take half of that for half of like $1 million or $2 million. This is $75 million to sign a football. They're like an autograph. Okay, so God bless Dak. I want him to have the great season. We should get into what they've been talking about lately, and we will. To me, that's what I like promoting. There's nothing about color. It's nothing about anything. It was about an athlete who ended up getting his worth, if not even more. He handled himself. He did everything during the toughest times. He wasn't in the news. He wasn't complaining. He wasn't utilizing race. We're Jersey guys. We believe in stand-up, blue-collar, good people. Yes?
And he's one.
And he's one of them. And, so I'm happy. Now, my other side is the fact that they franchised them twice. Everyone goes, oh, that's a great thing because when he's 31. Here's my opinion on that. I think in my opinion, maybe they kind of screwed him because no other team's going to want to franchise him to pay him 140% of his last contract. Why would you franchise him?
Just to get him locked in that money. Because you figure all the people that he's comparable to as far as like with age, the contracts they got.
I'm talking about now, his third one. You know how you said what I understood is that after two franchises, if you get the third franchise, you got to pay them 140% or something like that of their last contract.
Yes.
Right. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm thinking like, hey, they franchise him. I'm happy he got his money, but you could look at it at two sides that he kind of like, what team is going to say, I'll pay you, but I'm not going to franchise tag. I'll franchise tag my lineman. I'll franchise someone else. I'm not gonna franchise you at 32 years old to pay you 140% of the contract you just signed. That was crazy. That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. It's, the ones that usually get franchised are like the left tackle, edge rushers, quarterbacks rarely. And for this to happen the way it did, kind of Jerry Jones backfired and screwed himself. I'm pretty much saying that he should have paid him 2 years ago, and he wouldn't have been in the boat that he's in now.
I agree, but the analysts are saying that Dak's got even an extra bonus by getting franchise tagged again, and I disagree with that. I'm of the opinion that no other team is going to franchise him a third time to pay him that amount of money when, like you said, you're going to franchise a defensive tackle, a defensive end, you're going to franchise a running back, you're going to franchise someone else, but why would you franchise a 30-something-year-old quarterback to pay him?
How old is he? He's not that old.
No, but when this expires, he'll be 32, 30-something years old.
But look how long quarterbacks are playing now. 32 is not
true,
old.
but not to franchise him.
Why not?
Brady's not franchised.
Yeah, because he's Tom Brady.
I'm just saying to you that there's another side to look at. They're looking at the positive. I just don't think the third team. I don't think he's going to get franchised a third time.
No,
is my opinion. Even if he went somewhere else, he's just not. They're not going to pay him that kind of money. They're not, and unless he produces like he's producing now, which then Dallas would have to franchise him again, and then they'd have to pay him. I'm just saying a third team, no way, in my opinion, they're going to franchise tag because that money's going to leverage them big. So now, with that said, is how leveraged do you think the team is? Because he's still the way they signed him, they freed up cap space.
Well, they got. Let me see. I got it written down right here. They got like $12 million in cap space. But then I was looking at somebody. You should like some of these guys that get paid in Dallas. I don't know how they did it. You got like he's at 40. You got Lawrence, the tackle, 21. Cooper, 20. Tyron Smith, 12. Elliott's 15. Zach Martin, 15. Other Smith, Jalen Smith is 11 million. Collins, a backup guard, sometimes starts 10. Tyron Crawford is at 9. Even a tight end is at 5.5 million.
I'm glad you don't like Dallas.
I also look at. Yeah, I know. And I looked at the Giants, but then you look at the Giants, right? The Giants got Soldiers at 15.
Well, let's stay on Dallas. How does cap space work? Like, in other words, like that's a little confusing to me. So you just said they have 22 million in cap space or 12?
It's either 12 or 22 million.
Okay, let's just say it's let's just round it, right? Let's say it's $20 million in cap space, right? So how does that work? Like, is that I'm confused with cap space. Is that just for that year, or like how does cap space really work? For our listeners, and I'd like to understand because it's like I don't understand. Like you said, you don't understand how they're doing it, and you know it better than I do. And just in general, like in theory or not in theory, how does cap space work? We got 12 million. If you pay one guy $3 million for the year, do you lose, $9 million? How does that work?
It goes. All right, you have like the cap space, like it's $187 million for the whole, like the salaries for the team. Then right next to it is, where is it? You have $10 million that is called dead space. That's guys that are no longer on the team. So they have $10 million in, somebody that's no longer with that.
But you got to pay them because they're a contract.
You got to pay them.
Right.
Then,
like a union.
Yeah. And you have, because I got it right here in my hand, like the cap space, like for the Cowboys right now is they have $20 million, $20,749,340.
Okay, 22 million, bro. You don't have to give me the decimal change.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, 50 cents. Like, okay, I'll take the 50 cents.
Really? So they have a total of
really? You notice I use that word now. Yeah. Really?
So they have a total cap space of $12 million for you. as
Okay, so
far
but how does the cap space work? I don't understand. So you got $12 million, right?
you have
So
12 million.
what does that mean? You can only
You,
sign $12 million worth,
yes,
or you
yes,
can
yes, 12
for
million
that.
dollars. So you could either resign some of your players, or maybe go out and get somebody else. And it's also included with when the draft. So they got to free up some more money because they have a draft coming. So they got to have more money than what they have, so they can be able to sign all the draft picks as well.
So
So right,
okay, so you got $12 million. If you re-sign someone for 4 million, but the 4 million, let's say the 4 million is over 3 years, right? You divide that, like, no, let's make it easy. 3 million over 3 years. So you're only using 1 million of your cap space.
for the first year, and then whatever, for 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, just say you do one. But what about incentives and all that? That doesn't
All
count in
that,
cap space.
that's all included. That's why those guys try to get bonus money doesn't count. Like as far as like if they get the big old bonus, that doesn't count. They get that, stick.
That's what I'm asking. So let's say you sign, okay, I got $12 million in cap space. I sign a guy for 3 years at $1 million, right? So I'm only using $1 million of cap,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, but let's say I sign him at $1 million, but based on incentives, if you play X amount of games, you know how they're you play X amount of games, you play X amount of quarters, you score, or you get tackles, or you get all the things that you're incentivized to get. That now your contract, let's say you did all of those and you made it to the Super Bowl, you did all that, and that extra turns into another $2 million, right? That has nothing to do with your cap space.
No.
Okay.
According to what I've read.
It's okay, but it would make sense. I mean, because remember, I always go back to Doug Flutie, right? When he played for Buffalo, he was the backup, and he was only playing at that time. He was playing for $600,000, but then he came in and took him to the playoffs. And based on his contract, if he did that, he got like an additional $2 million, right?
Bonus money, that's extra money.
That has zero to do with so performance dollars don't affect your cap space. Your cap space is purely on salary.
Yes, according to what I'm reading.
Okay. You can just say yes, because if I don't know it, most of our listeners don't. So just go with the flow, bro.
But then we have the Philadelphia Eagles, who are $26 million in the hole.
Okay, so that means they got to pay luxury tax?
No, they don't have to pay anything. They got to figure out how, because it has to, by a certain time, it has to be under the cap. So they got to. They could either lose. They could either lose draft picks. They can get fined.
Oh, so they get penalized.
They get penalized.
So it's not like in basketball, you just pay a luxury tax.
No. The NFL gets you.
Yeah, they're like the government. They're going to get their money.
They're government. G-men.
That's incredible. So Dallas is opened up. So again, I go back to I'm happy for Dak. I think I still think the contract was done well, even though Jerry Jones has got the money. So you can pay him $75 million up front and free up still his cap space is worked out for him. Yes. The fact that he franchised him twice works out, but I think I don't agree with the analysts that they think it's a cherry on the top for Dak. I don't think he's going to be franchised a third time. I just don't.
He's good to go now. He's good.
Yeah, just in general, I'm saying he's not going to get 140% of his last salary, right? But we'll see what happens. It's just something's weird about those Dallas quarterbacks, like Tony Romo. They were all great. They all put up good numbers, right? They just seem to have a problem when it comes playoff time.
No, they need to get rid of Jerry Jones. Needs to go sit up in that nice luxury box and let his son run the team the way it's supposed to be run instead of him meddling. He screwed up that. They'd have won 4. Mark said this before. They would have won 4 or 5 Super Bowls in a row if he'd have just left Jimmy Johnson alone and let him do his thing. But he figured he was smarter than everybody else. Oh, well, I did that. Well, let me hire Barry Switzer, one of my other college roommate buddies, and he got him another one. But what have they won since?
No, but Switzer won on Jones's team.
Yes, that was Jones's team. But if Jimmy Johnson was still
I mean
there.
Johnson. I'm sorry, in Jimmy Johnson's team.
Yes.
He won on Jimmy Johnson's team.
Well,
All he did was manage that team.
But if they'd have left it alone and kept Jimmy Johnson there, they'd have won 4 or 5 more. They'd have won more than what the
Oh yeah. No, there's no doubt. As those guys love Johnson, and most of them were his players from college, anyways.
Yeah, from Oklahoma State and Miami.
No, from Miami, yeah.
Oklahoma State too.
Miami.
Ah.
Okay, give me the player from Oklahoma State that was on their team, and I'll give you a player from Miami that was on the team.
On that team?
Mm-hmm.
I got to think about that one.
Michael, okay, I'm going to start off, Michael Irvin.
Oh,
come on, you know I'm going to hit you. Alfredo Roberts. You want to keep going? He was the tight end. Who else was it? Their linebackers. Oh my God, he had pretty much the University of Miami on Dallas team.
Are you finished beating me upside the head now?
I'm just letting you know. I'm just making sure we're clear.
I'm
University of Miami. It was the University of Miami extended into Dallas.
It's
all about the U, baby.
Everybody gets paid
where there's sunshine and there's no snow.
Everybody gets paid on the team.
But I still feel pretty comfortable with the Giants. I'm scared of Washington.
You should be.
I'm not scared of Philly. I don't think Philly's going to be ready. I'm not really that scared of Dallas because I'm not really convinced with McCarthy being able to make you know what I mean? I'm just not convinced. He is. Dak is awesome. He's not Aaron Rodgers.
If they get a quarterback, they're going to be my pick over my Giants. Giants are going to be number 2. But as far as winning the division next year, Washington Redskins, if they get a quarterback.
Oh, you're throwing out Danny Dimes?
I'm throwing it right out the window.
Time out. So that entire year last year, when I was like upset about what they did to my boy Eli, and you were all Danny Dimes. You and where's Paul Gutierrez? We're calling you out, Paul Gutierrez.
Right, I'm Danny Dimes.
Paul Gutierrez, Danny Dimes all day. Eli's this and that. Eli, the bull crap. Eli was my man. It's like Coughlin. I didn't like Coughlin until he won a championship. Now I love Coughlin.
Ah, really?
Yeah, I didn't like Coughlin until he won a championship.
I'm just letting you know. I'm taking Washington 1, Giants 2, Dallas 3, Eagles in last place.
I give you that's fine. I'll give you Washington. I'm still gonna go for my Giants, but I'll give you Washington. But my conversation is more about Danny Dimes, right? Everybody was all hyper on him. We'll see. Like this year now, he's at least gonna have a running game.
Yeah, but if they don't fix the line this year, like now, Gettleman ain't gonna be here next year because they're gonna stink this year. Because look at the line they got. Thomas was hurt.
Who did they have when Saquon was already putting up numbers though? They didn't have anybody.
It was better. The line was a little bit better with it here now. Right now they're awful. You figure Andrew Thomas, the number 1 pick, was playing with a hurt ankle. The left guard Lemieux was awful in pass protection. The center is a converted tackle, Gates. The right guard was Zeitler. He's gone. And then the other guy, Fleming, was awful. So now they're going to have Thomas, Lemieux, Gates, Hernandez, who was awful, couldn't get his job back from the other guy, and Matt Pearl, the 3rd-round pick from this year, is going to be the line if they don't do something about it.
Dude, you're ruthless with the awful.
But it's the truth, man. They're awful, man. Like coordinated. They're awful.
All right. As we're extending the program a little bit, what do you think about? Okay, before we start signing off, what do you think about what's happening with Wilson in Seattle? I mean, that's a little crazy.
Because he wants more control, like I've been saying, repeatedly, like the other teams, like the other, league, like basketball. He wants the same, play personnel. He wants. Pete Carroll is a 70-year-old quarterback. Coach. Pete Carroll is going to do it the way he wants to do it. He's been doing it the way he wants to do for decades. He's not going to cave in to Russell Wilson. Well, I want to run this. I want to do this. I want you to get that. He traded him first for a whole boatload of picks before he caves in. So I can see him going.
But what's crazy, he was in the MVP running.
Yeah, yeah, he was running for his life too, all week, every game.
Yeah,
Because
but he was in the MVP running though. He was still performing. I mean,
but
it's not,
but everything is on him. Everything. They have no
Yeah,
running
that's true.
game.
Right? Yeah.
He,
Without, yeah.
he has
A
to run
little.
all
It
the
was
field.
too much. It was too much on him to win.
Yeah, he has to run all the field, the complete passes. You know, he got the big, huge wide receiver Metcalf, the biggest receiver I've ever seen. They got him, and who else?
Mhm.
Nobody. It's
Don't
the
you think?
Russell
Don't
Wilson
don't
show.
you think though that it's well, okay, I want to go into something they've been talking about a lot too. It's 2 points. One, I'm going to talk about. The second question is the theory of when you sign a quarterback for that kind of money, it's either Super Bowl or bust, right? So I want to talk about that second, and then the first one before that is I want to talk about is I gotta remember what I was going to talk about. Um, is that these quarterbacks? Do you think that they're seeing the success of some of these younger guys that they're thinking that I don't have what they have. I don't have the Tariq Hills. I don't have, if you give me that, I'd be the Patrick Mahomes. You don't think that ego is starting to play into the part of, I want to be Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick may have lost the Super Bowl, but that kid's got some crazy, extraordinary talent, in my opinion.
Yeah, but look when Seattle was on the roll the way they were on the roll, what they do? Run the ball, play action, go deep. They had Marshawn Lynch, Carson, and all those running backs. They were able to run the ball. Any team that's going to win a Super Bowl, you have to be able to run the ball. I don't care what quarterback you have back there. Look what happened to Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Look at Leonard Fournette delivered for Tampa.
But look at and then
I'm saying is the running back delivered for Tampa.
Yeah, I'm just saying if you don't have the linemen to block, this goes with any team. Because look at the guys with Tampa. They had a good line. That line was really good. They had a rookie right tackle, Wirfs, the one that we should have took. And they protected Tom Brady because they know he's going to get rid of the ball. He's not going to be back there running around a circle. He's going to 1, 2, whoop, go it out. 1, 2, up. Nobody's open. Throw it up in the stands. That's what he does all the time. He's that kind of quarterback. But you get these other, Russell Wilson runs all over the field. He's been sacked 400 times or whatever crazy number, since he's been playing. And he just doesn't have the people around him like these other teams do. And hasn't had them for years, since the last time he went to the Super Bowl.
So, yeah. But Leonard Fournette for Tampa delivered. I mean, he got cut. I mean, I love those are the stories I love. He got cut from Jacksonville. He said he showed up and they were, boom, you're gone.
Because he was lazy.
Well, apparently it pumped him up for Tampa.
Hey, you get pumped up too. I got Tom Brady back here. Ooh, I get me one.
Right. You get pumped up too. I got bills.
Yeah, that helps too. Oh, I got to get me a job working on the power line.
I'm not on a team. I got cut. Like when you get cut, you got cut. It's not like you got traded, right? When you get traded, right? There's a difference between traded and cut. Is that fair?
Big difference.
Right? You get cut.
You're cut.
You got no other place, right?
Nope.
You get traded, you're getting traded, and they're picking up a contract.
Yes.
Right?
You get
cut. And he delivered. And got a Super Bowl ring. So God bless him, right? That's what I like to hear.
And Super Bowl money too.
And 130 grand.
Yeah, I take that too.
130 grand just for that day, not counting. He probably had incentives too. I mean,
130. I go buy me a big RV or something. 130,000.
I thought you had one already.
Nah, I'm looking at it. I'm thinking about it.
Okay, good. You stop. I thought you said you had one. Yeah, I remember you said you were looking at one.
I'm still looking at it.
Yeah. And then my second point was the one was on the I'm trying to remember the second point I was to say. The first one was on what we were just talking about regarding the quarterback situation. The second one was, shoot, that's why I wanted to go right into those pieces, but okay, it'll come back to me. Let me go back into what our agenda is, and we're almost about to wrap this up. So we got the trades. Oh, so yeah, we were talking about the quarterback situation. We were talking about Wilson, right? And his desire to want to change. So what do you think is going to happen though with coaches like um, Pete Carroll, right? Where they're defensive minded. We were talking about like it's a quarterback league, and we're talking about are they think that they're the Mahomes and ex Mahomes of the league, and he's totally different, right? Um, you know, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, do you think it's going to start going away? You know how football has its trends, right? They do whatever was working recently and they're going to adapt and change. But, do you think the time of the defensive head coach is going to be gone?
Defense wins championships. That's all I got to say about that. And that's
How
the
many
truth.
defensive head coaches are there right now?
Right now?
Besides Pete Carroll.
Ooh, I definitely got to think about that one. Yeah, but look at
Ron Rivera, no?
yeah, there you go. There's one. Who won the last Super Bowl? And how did they win? Because they played great defense. Tampa.
Yeah, that's true. But he's not a head coach. My question was, who's the head coach that is a defensive minded?
I got
Right? You got Belichick. You got Ron Rivera.
And how many Super Bowls did he won? That counts. Belichick's won a whole bunch of Super Bowls. 8.
Oh man, I shouldn't even mention that name.
8. Belichick's got 8.
As soon as I mentioned that name, you were able to jump ship real fast.
This is true. 8. He's got 8 as a coach.
He's got 8 what?
Rings.
Oh, because he's got one with the Giants. No,
He got 2 with the Giants.
He's got 2 with the Giants and 6 with the Pats. All right, yeah. Spagnola's got 2.
Yeah, he don't count though. He sucked as a coach. Head coach.
Yeah, no, but he's a defense. Oh, yeah, sure. As a head coach, he sucked. Yeah. Wade Phillips too sucked as a head coach, but great
coordinator.
Great defensive coordinator.
Not a head coach.
Buddy Ryan.
Rex Ryan.
I guess my question is the head coaches being defensive coaches, right, in a quarterback league, I think is going to start waning. Because like you said, if Pete Carroll's 70,
yeah, well,
his time is coming.
Yeah, well, look at all the new coaches now. All these coaches are young. A lot of these guys are, not even 40 years old yet.
Judge, all of them.
Judge,
McVay,
Cisco,
McVay, Shanahan,
the guy up in Buffalo, head coach. They're young. Salah, the one that the Jets just hired. He hired Matt LaFleur's brother. He's the coordinator, so it's going to have another LaFleur. If he does well the Jets, then he'll be a head coach. But all these guys are under 40, and a lot of them never played too. That's the kind of strange thing about it too, that never played the game. So I guess it helps when your daddy, and I'm getting ready to go on that kick, but the daddy and everything else. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's
true, but we go back to what me and Vonda were saying. If you had kids and you were an actor, would you want to get them? Hell no. Hey, but but the problem is I go back to, my man, Mike Tomlin. He's the youngest coach to win a Super Bowl. Why weren't they following that program then?
Because Pittsburgh is different.
It's not that Pittsburgh is different. He was a young head coach. In other words, they're making this big thing about young head coaches, right? But he gets left out of that. I mean,
but he
was 34.
But they have an organization that doesn't meddle. You never hear about the Rooneys getting involved in.
No, and they don't have a lot of head coaches either.
No, they've had 3 in the last 50 years.
But still, the point is that Tomlin was a young coach and proved success after a successful coach.
Right.
Right. So, they didn't seem to want to follow that pattern. But now all of a sudden they're following that pattern like it's a new thing. Tomlin started that piece. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan or anything, but I like Mike Tomlin.
Who's
back? I have always said that to you.
You know who's back in the NFL now? Lovie Smith.
No.
Yeah, Houston Texans.
Really?
Yeah.
As what position?
I think defensive coordinator.
Really? How much you want to bet they're going to do great?
They're going to do what?
They're going to do great.
What, Texans?
Well, just love me, like again, it goes back to those coaches that are great at the maybe not at the head coach level, but at that position. But Lovie Smith played against, took him to the Super Bowl, right? We had two African American coaches. Like we were guaranteed to have a African American coach win the Super Bowl.
Where did he play though?
Right, because you had Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith.
Where Lovey play though? Tulsa.
Oh, really? Oh. Shout out to Tulsa.
He was my position coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you played for him?
Yeah.
Oh, so how was he?
He was a great.
Was his name Lovey? Did it live up to the word Lovey Smith?
No, he was hard on you. He was a little rough. He was a great player there himself, but he's a little rough. Yeah. He was real quiet. You could hardly, he talked real slow and real soft, but he got the point across.
So how does someone soft as a defensive coach? How does someone talk low, soft, and be tough? I'm Latin, so we're loud and
Because you could see it, like you knew when he was upset because he would look you dead in the face. He would look you in the face, and he would say what he had to say, and then you would get the point, and that was it.
And with anger in his eyes.
Yeah, a lot of anger.
Like, in other words, like when he said to you, said it softly. He said it looks you in the eye, but those eyes were laser beams. Yes. Like, dude, you better get this thing right.
Yes. Yeah.
Or you have a problem.
It would depend on what I was doing that day. It was either
not you. I'm just saying in general, like whoever he spoke, because he didn't just coach you. He coached
Yeah, he coached some other guys too.
He coached the team. Yeah.
Yeah, he coached.
That's funny. So I'm glad to see Lovie Smith's back, but that goes back to the good old boy league, though. You can say whatever you want on one side, but you cannot deny the NFL's good old boy league. Period.
Well, we can't say, we have to be politically correct. We can't say good old boy league anymore because some people they might get upset. So
why good old boys references what?
To the South, good old boys in the South, good old, that kind of stuff.
So who gets upset? The people in the South or people in the North? I'm trying to understand.
People, both.
You can tell where we're from because we're just using phrases that we know, but we're not. There's no content of malintent in those words. But I appreciate it. It's like don't call him Pat Mahomes. Call him Pat.
We'll call it the NFL fraternity. That's it.
Okay, right. You got to admit, right? For someone to come back, it is an NFL fraternity, but I do think it's one-sided a little bit more than the other. But they do take care of each other. Adam Gase will be coaching somewhere.
He probably does have a job. We just don't know.
We just don't know. That's exactly what I was going to say. That brother got a job somewhere. We just don't know about it. And we're not going to watch his eyes going like this.
No.
So, all right. So this was good. We extended a little bit longer. This was, I don't know how, but the picks were good. I think it was more about the picks, right?
Yeah.
That took the longest, but that was good. I think you did fantastic with the picks. I'm good with all of them. I'm just surprised with some of them. And it's going to change each week, no? So we're going to talk some more about it. Let's try to get into we left off at where did 16. You want at what?
It's going to change next week, just so you know.
All right.
So, but Santiago needs.
But I'm gonna keep this and try to see where it's changed. And I want to see the Mac Jones rising is interesting to me.
Send it to Santiago because he posts this.
Oh, he does send this latest one.
Well, he will. This one. This is the latest one.
Okay, I'll send him this one. See Jags. Trey. Okay, Buccaneers.
And then I'll update the one.
We also got to talk about the Buccaneers. They're making some pretty good moves on. They're resigning a lot of the players.
They're not going to be able to sign all of them.
Not all of them, but
you got Shaq Barrett. They still haven't signed him. You got Sue is out there, so he wants to come back. So those are two. The other guy they just signed 2 years, $25 million.
Who's that? Godwin?
Levante David, the linebacker.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Godwin, they need to sign.
They franchised him.
They did sign franchise Godwin?
Yeah.
Oh, he should be happy.
It depends on how happy he's going to be.
He's going to be happy because Brady made him break NFL records. So I think they're going to be better than they were this year.
Washington next year.
Huh?
Washington next year.
Okay, we got you on deny the Flecko you want, but we're recording this. I'm gonna come back to that. All right. So let's just close this out. Hey, I heard you did a great job. I wasn't here last week. It was my son's birthday. I wanted to enjoy my son. You guys did a great job. Thanks to Santiago for stepping in on me, in for me, and Byron, you led the way. So can you please close us out with the Gary Sinise Foundation?
Oh, now you're gonna put me on the spot since
I got to put you on the spot because every time I ask you, you let me do it. And I heard you did a bang up job. So,
all I did was read the thing, man. The same thing you could do.
Well, yeah. I read it with passion.
Yeah, we'll read it with passion.
No, yeah. I want to see how Byron Jones reads it. Since remember this you taught me this. You're the one who showed me this organization that now I believe in.
I send money to them all the time.
Good. So now you should even more passion than I do.
Say my sister deals with them all the time too.
She's not on the show today. She's studying.
She's in the middle of moving.
She's studying.
Well, she's got to go work in the morning.
Yeah.
Ugh. I can't find it now.
Okay. I got you covered, man.
Oh, gee.
I got you covered. But next week, be prepared.
Here we go. I'm ready.
Oh, you ready? All right.
There we go. Freedom and security are precious gifts that we as Americans should never take for granted. We must do all we can to extend our hand in times of need to those who willingly sacrifice each day to provide the freedom and security. While we can never do enough to show gratitude to our nation's defenders, we can always do a little more. Gary Sinise, GarySiniseFoundation.org. Give until your hands bleed.
Yes, because because our military, our servicemen, our first responders, they don't just bleed, they die. And they die for us, defending the ability for us to even just do a podcast. In most countries, you can't even do a podcast.
No.
Say your opinion. So, I don't think we do enough for our servicemen. We don't do enough for our first responders. So if you can, GarySiniseFoundation.org. Byron served the military, all his family served in the military, all my family served in the military. It's one of my things that I wish I would have, but I didn't. But it's nothing but our soldiers that we truly need to give thanks to. All righty. So so now just remember, okay, you can follow us on Twitter at the Sportscast1 and visit our website at thesportscast.net. Please also subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Sportcast, because then you'll get notified and click on notifications, because then you'll know every time me and Byron are on and the Jersey boys are talking about sports. And we have a lot of guests. We missed our boy Mark today. He told me he was going to come on because we wanted to talk about Dak. So hopefully he comes on.
He's working.
Yeah. He's got to tell me definitely, but it's going. So don't forget, again, at Twitter, the Sportscast1, and visit our website, thesportscast.net. Again, next Thursday, Byron and I will be at it again. We're going to be talking about the draft picks. Byron is doing outstanding. I'm picking the picks. I like them. I only concern myself about who's the 11th pick. Byron's doing all the way straight down to 32, and it changes every week. To our Alabama fans, we have the constant Riley, or was it Alabama?
The Bama Standard now.
What?
The Bama Standard. That's the name.
The Bama Standard. All right, the Bama Standard. Justin Riley and Constant have a show. They have it on Tuesdays. They have a different channel, but they have great information on Alabama. So you want to look at that. We have a show on Tyler. We have an NBA show with our guy Jordan this week as well. And then Byron and I, you could always see our shows again. Just want to shout out to Perth Amboy, New Jersey, as we always do. We haven't given a chance to the 8 million athletes. And by the way, next week I'll have all the names of the cheerleaders that won that tournament.
Oh, the cheerleaders!
Because, I got a little bit hammered. I didn't mention everybody that I needed to mention.
Don't forget Althea Rogers.
Althea Rogers, who was a coach, head coach,
vice principal, all kinds. She
was yeah.
Now she's living a life in Jacksonville on the beach.
And she was a beautiful lady.
Yes, she was.
No,
Yes,
there's
no, yes, she is.
Yo, yeah, no confusion. And with all due respect, Miss Rogers, we,
Miss
we're
Rogers Beaker. Rogers
Miss
Beaker.
Rogers Bigger, we're paying you a compliment.
That's it.
We're just paying you a compliment, right, Mr. Byron?
That's it. That's
That's all
it.
we're doing. Just
No.
paying you a compliment. We're just paying you a compliment. Beautiful lady with a lot of talent. Byron, as always, I'm glad I'm back on the show. We went a little bit long today, but it was fun. I think this went fast, no?
Yeah, very fast.
Way faster than I'm happy because the last couple of shows, I think I was a little bit down. I was off my game. And that was my fault. So I apologize. But Byron, as always, I enjoy this time. I love you, the Jones family. Shout out to Vonda and Sonia. Sonia, cheers. This is Gatorade, but make believe it's wine.
I have the picture of spandex next week.
Oh, I got it. Just show me. Do me a favor too. Show me a picture of you in spandex, and then show me just what the spandex looks like when it's not on you. Okay. I want to see because spandex is this size, and when you put it on, it's this size. I want to see like what it started out, and then like what happens when it started crying when you stretched it out.
Are you done almost? There you go.
Bye. I love you, bro. I think you're the best. I enjoy every week and every time I get a chance to talk to you. And God bless. Everybody stay safe. I hope everyone's doing well during these tough times. And just think of other people. And again, spread the love. And we got to continue to figure out what we're going to do with this epidemic. And we got to figure out the social injustice. I think it's gotten to for all of those that are out there, just think about what you're doing first. We got to do something, right? We
got to be better.
We got to be better. I've been fortunate to grow up where we grew up in Perth Amboy, and I got brothers and sisters from every possible color and race there are, and I truly love them, and I truly believe they're my brothers and sisters, and I truly believe I can count on them. So may all of you be as fortunate as myself. So good night, and looking forward to you next Thursday, 8 p.m. to our friends who ask us every week.
8 p.m.
The numbers on the channel. I don't know how else to promote what it is. So if not, God bless. Sports coming on. We're looking forward to it. We got some good things happening in the NBA. We didn't even get to that with LeBron and that, but we will. Byron, thank you for the great work, and God bless. We'll talk soon.
God bless.
Peace, brother.